Welcome to ISE's ETF and Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ETFs and ISE's indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, the Chief Derivative Market Strategist at OptionSource.net. ISE has a portfolio of more than 20 proprietary indexes based on a diverse range of fast-growing industries and emerging markets. Our team of indexing experts is dedicated to creating these innovative indexes and partnering with issuers to launch unique investment vehicles. This includes exchange-traded funds, exchange-traded notes, and other structured products. ISE continually enhances its trading platform and develops new index products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE ETF and Index Outlook for May 21st, 2012. This is Patrick Ceresna. As always, we start off with a chart of the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange rate fund symbol SPY. We were over the last couple of weeks identifying the double top formation up along the S&P 500 and suggested that the market correction could correct down to one of the support lines that we were looking for. The first one that we're obviously approaching right now is now that 127 to 129 focal point down below. There are obviously some scenarios which we can even suggest even 124 on the downside, but the key thing that I want to make as an observation is that we're now going a better part of 10 plus days into a market correction that hasn't really crashed. Even though the selling has started to accelerate a little bit, it really hasn't turned into something similar to that of a flash crash or the August drop that we saw of last year. And really at some juncture here, if this does not accelerate into a crash-like environment, then this will be a buying opportunity. We'll be looking to see where support lines hold and where the bulls might be able to turn the tide for that buying opportunity. So we are looking more optimistically at the market down at these levels. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is symbol FUM. This natural gas index has now gone through another considerable wave of selling, has now approached its October lows down around that 90-92 level. Interestingly enough, that we are coming up to support lines on the S&P 500 same time as we're seeing ourselves approach at a key technical level for the natural gas index. And while there certainly is room for this natural gas index to have another leg lower where we could see even 80 or 70 on the downside, it may not necessarily come in the month of May or even in the first week of June. Really at this stage, this will be a very logical place for us to see a bounce in the natural gas index. So we'll be watching to see again if support lines had come in. In the bigger picture, any bounce from here may return back to the 100, maybe even the 104, 106 level on the upside. But in the bigger picture, we're not in any way super bullish just yet on this index, but we simply are observing that this is the first technical level where some initial supports should come in. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Cloud Computing Index, which is a symbol CPQ. This is the chart of the ETF SKYY, and we basically saw that head and shoulders formation developing on there. Now we've seen an outright full sell cycle occurring in these cloud computing index. Really at this stage, the most logical support line will come in where the lows were in November and December, around that 16.5 to 17 level. But with the selling so intense and so rapid, we may not see a drop all the way down to a level before we get a bounce. We really actually are probably much closer to its short-term selling low. In the bigger picture, we still believe that the stock market may be weak through much of the summer, and therefore we have to be open to the idea that maybe that 16.5, 17 level might be tested in the latter part of the summer. But at least on the short term, we may not make it down there before we get a bounce of $1 or $2 on the upside of this index. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Global Copper Index, which is a symbol ISC. This copper index has, we saw that double top develop back in January, February. We were talking about it a couple months ago. Really now the selling has really intensified in the last week and a half. We've now approached the October lows just like we've seen in that natural gas index. Again, this is after such an extremely oversold state. This would be a very logical place to be seeing some short-term support support. Again, that would not be the buying opportunity of the year, but there is definitely a diminished benefit of being short on the short term, and subsequently also if anyone who's trying to buy for a bounce trade, like a swing trade back up to 320, 340 on this index, that may be in the cards in the upcoming week. That was your ISE, ETF, and Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free ETF and index trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE's indexes and ETFs, visit us at www.ise.com/ETF.